welcome to another camp registration season. My name is Sarah House. I'm the Director of Events and Resourcing here at the Ohio Ministry Network. And in an effort to help our parents and our leaders with the registration process, we just wanted to create a couple brief videos walking you through that process. Of course, you may still have questions, and that's perfectly fine, and we're here to help you any way that we can, but we just want to make this as easy for you as possible. So before we jump in to the actual registration process, I just want to mention three quick things. The first one is regarding your login. If you have had a login in the past, we need that to still be your login because students can only be tied to one login account. So creating a duplicate login if you've lost the information is going to do nothing but cause complications for you and possibly for us in the system as well. So if you have lost your login information, please reach out to us and let us help you retrieve that information, reset that password, and we'll get you headed in the right direction very quickly. Regarding contacting us, the best way to contact us is actually not on the phone. The best way to reach us if you have any questions or any problems is to email us at camp@ohioministry.net. The reason that is the best possible way is because we have many people monitoring that one inbox. And guess what? The phone line, there's only one. And so your chances of getting a quick response increases greatly if you will just email us at camp@ohioministry.net, and we'll help you any way we can. We also have access to that inbox remotely and on the weekend. So again, it just is the most efficient way to reach out for help. And the third thing I want to mention is regarding how you register. We highly recommend that you register using a desktop computer or something similar to that versus your phone or another mobile device. The camp registration process is a little complicated and it is not incredibly responsive. So it'll be much easier for you in the process if you will use a desktop or a similar device. So with those three things being said, let's jump in here and let's log in to our camp registration platform, and we'll walk you through what that looks like. Okay, so the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to open your internet browser. In this case, this is Google Chrome for me. And then up in the URL bar, you will go to either the Ohio Kidmin webpage or the Ohio Youth Ministries webpage, depending on the age of the student you're registering and for which camp you are registering. I will go ahead and go to ohiokidmin.com. But I do have the Ohio Youth Ministries open here as well, so I'll show you what each of those look like. You're going to go to the events, and you will see Kids Camp there. If you go to the Ohio Youth Ministries, which is oymnetwork.com, it's very similar. You're going to go Events, Summer Camp. And you see the web pages are set up very similarly. We have done this for your convenience. Okay, so you see they have similar buttons here. Okay, but we will use the Ohio Kidmin page as our starting point. You'll click on registration, and you'll see three boxes here. So this first box here is for our group leaders. That is those individuals from the local church that are obtaining the group ID and the alias for the families and also organizing your transportation and things of that nature. So that is what this section is for. As a parent, you're going to go to this middle section right here that says camper registration. And you'll click, and you'll come down here to this camper registration, and you see that each of these open up and have information. We cannot encourage you enough to open each one of these drop downs and read that information. We're not going to take the time right now to go through each of those. But we get quite a few phone calls, which obviously takes your time during the day and also takes our time during the day for information that is right here available to you on the website. So please take time to read each one of these steps to make sure that you are adequately prepared for camp. But we're going to skip to step number 2, which is complete online registration. Now, one thing that I want to point out is that if you are a parent and your kids are attending with a group, then you're going to want to make sure that you do step 1 first, which is to contact your local pastor and leader to obtain that church ID, so that you can make sure that your camper ends up in the right group. That has an effect on housing. It also has an effect on the Heart for Ohio discount. So if you are attending with a church group, you're going to want to make sure you do step 1 before you do step 2. Okay, and now let's move on to step 2. And we're going to click here to register your child for camp. And this is going to redirect you to our third-party entity known as CampWise, and that is the process and the program we use to register our campers. And then you're going to enter in your username and your password. Again, as I said in the opening of the video, if you do not have your login information, please email us at camp@ohioministry.net and let us retrieve that for you. Okay, so I'm gonna log in here. Once you're logged in, your screen should look like this. Okay, and the thing I want to point out right away is you're going to want to make sure that this email address is correct, because that is an email address that's associated with the account, and you want to make sure that is current so that you get all the information you need. The second thing I want to point out is this section called Campers. If you have had a camper attend in the past any of our camps, then they will be listed here. So you see, we just have a couple test campers here that we use to test our registration, and that's what we're going to do today. But you will actually select the camper from the drop-down that you want to register for the new camp. So you're going to want to make sure it says right here the camper's name if they've attended in the past. If they have not attended in the past and you're registering a camper for the first time, you're going to want this button right here, Add a Camper. And it's just going to ask you information, their age, their gender, their grade, things of that nature. Okay, but we're going to assume that you are a returning camper. And so I'm just going to leave this one selected here, Test. And then you're going to come over here to the enrollment side and hit Add New Program. This will be the place if your church has given you a church ID. This right here, GHRID, that stands for the group hold ID. In this case, we don't have that because we are just demonstrating an individual camper. But if you were to enter that, it would take you to the camps associated with that ID. Okay, you're going to hit Save, Next. And you see right here, it's only going to show me the camps that my student is eligible for. If you have a camper that is too old or too young, the camp will not appear, and unfortunately we cannot make any exceptions to that. Your student will absolutely need to attend the camp that is age appropriate for them. Okay, we're going to assume that I want Test to go to Kids Camp 1, so I'm going to select Kids Camp 1 and hit Next. Okay, and right here are my options for t-shirts. Now this is one distinction between the kids camps and the youth camps. If you're attending kids camp, your t-shirt is included in your cost of registration. If you are attending youth camp, there is a $10 charge for that. So for kids camp, you definitely want to select a shirt. If you are attending as a youth camper, then you will select it only if you want to purchase that shirt. Okay, so I'm going to select the shirt size and go Next here. Okay, and we can see the camper there. They're going to ask for the parent or guardian. If you've done that in the past, then that should appear. If not, you're going to add a new contact. The same thing with Guardian 2, the second parent, and an alternate emergency contact. If it's a past registration, these should be auto-filled for you. If not, then you're going to want to add new contacts there. But if that all looks good, you're just going to hit Next. Okay, and here we're going to select a billing contact. Now this does not automatically save, so it may appear here, but you absolutely have to hit Save. And this will be the person that gets the invoices, also the person we reach out to if there is any questions in the invoicing for that student. So you're going to want to hit Save, or you're going to add a new contact, whichever you need to do, and then hit Save. And then we're going to go Next. Okay, now because I used this camper to test the registration, my forms are showing as being already completed. For you, if you are, even if it is an existing camper, you will still need to go in and complete this information. It will, however, retain information from the past, so that will be very helpful to you. Okay, but you're going to go in here. Okay, and you see all these fields. You're going to need to put in This one right here is the camper release form, and the question we're asking is, can anyone else pick up your child from camp? Now, one thing I want to point out is that if your child comes with the group, we are assuming they can come with their group leader. If they can't, you're going to want to hit yes. There's restrictions. We will not release them to anyone other than the group leader or the people you have as contacts. But if there are specific security alerts, you're going to want to hit yes and tell us what those are. If there are any restrictions regarding pickup or security, then you'll want to do that here. Here where it says security concerns regarding your child's appearance in camp photos. Essentially, we take a lot of photos. We post those on social media. We also use them in promotions. If there is a restriction for your camper where they cannot have their photo appear, we're going to need to know about that. So you're going to want to hit yes and tell us about that so we can make sure to be on the lookout for your student's photo. Okay, but if this looks good to you for the camper release, you're just going to hit next. And the next form is the summer camp medical waiver. Now you see I made up some information here, and it should retain your information from year to year, but we are going to ask you to check off that information is current for the 2022 camp season. Okay, then you'll just go through this process of telling us about any allergies, any medications, anything of that nature. If your student has an IEP that we need to know about, this is all information you're going to want to fill out. These are medications that we keep on site that we can give your kid if you give us permission. You'll just need to check these boxes. Okay, then there is a clause here. You're going to want to read this. It talks about if there is discipline action or anything like that, what that will look like and how that takes place. Then you're going to date it. We take this as an e-signature, and so you'll just put your name there on the line and you'll save that. And when these are both good, it will appear green like this. If they are not, it's going to be red and it's going to say this form is incomplete, in which case you're going to need to go back in and make sure you've completed all the required fields. Okay, after the forms, we're going to go to the next. This is if your child is bringing any medications. And the one thing I'll note here is that sometimes you complete registration in February or March. Camp isn't until July and medications change. So we will send you an alert. But please, if medications change, make sure you log back in, go back into your students' medications, and provide us with any updates. That will help expedite the registration and check-in process for you. Okay, we're going to go to the next. Okay, remember, if you registered using a church ID, we will automatically house your student by church. That's what it says here. But if by chance you're coming on your own and there is a camper you want to room with, you'll put that information here. Or if your group is so large that it's possible that it would take up more than one cabin, you can also enter a preference in that regard here. Okay, and then you'll hit next. This section right here is a coupon code. We use those exclusively for our missionary kids, so you will not need to do anything here unless you are a missionary kid, in which case you would enter that code here. Okay, so let's go next. I guess I should have turned my alerts off there. To add a new session. So you have finished the registration process, so you can either do a new registration if you're going to register an additional camper, or what you're going to want to do, you can add a new camper. But if none of that applies, you're going to hit View Dashboard, and that's going to take you here. Okay, it's just an alert there saying make sure it fully uploads. You'll see a couple red spots here. One of them says enrolled, not registered, and another one says a minimum deposit is required. So what that's saying is you're going to need to go in and make the minimum deposit for whichever campers you have registered, and you'll do that here. You can either do the minimum amount of $50, the full payment, or another amount if you'd like. But $50 is what is absolutely required to hold your student spot and guarantee your camper's registration. Okay, so we go to next. You do have an opportunity if you want to put money in the store for your student. You can do that here as well. So let's just say I want to do $20. You'll go next. Okay, and it's going to ask for your credit card information or an e-check. Okay. Obviously, we like e-checks because that saves on the credit card fees, but credit card is an option there if that's convenient for you. You'll fill out this information, you'll hit Save Next, and then your student will be officially registered for camp. Again, if you have any questions, please let us know by emailing us at camp@ohioministry.net. Thank you.